Welcome to Doing Philosophy. I'm Alan McPhee. Today's topic, college philosophy. How do you study philosophy in a college environment? The college environment has three major elements that we must look at. But before I begin, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I achieved, I like that word. I have a bachelor's degree in philosophy from University of California in Davis. I also have a master's degree in philosophy from Stanford University. And I'm also a college professor, or I teach in the college environment. So I'm very familiar with this topic of doing philosophy, studying philosophy in the college environment. So our topic today is to help those individuals in that environment. There are three major elements to be aware of in the college environment. When you come forward and into a philosophy class, there are three things going on. First of all, the course is time-driven. You're coming into an institution that has a particular course, it has a particular time called a semester, or whatever name you want to describe that period. You have that semester. You have 4 months to complete that assignment, or you have 6 weeks to complete that particular course. It's time-driven, and that's out of your hand. The second thing is topic-driven. You enter this environment to learn philosophy, but the topics are given to you. You don't get to choose the topic you want to talk about. You're given the topic of study. That's very important. You may not like the topic, but you must embrace it and learn how to thrive. The last element is that it is performance-driven. No matter how interesting the topics might be, no matter how detailed you're going to be studying, at the end of the day, you must perform in some way. You may have to give a speech. You will have to write an essay or two. You'll have to complete some objective tests, multiple choice tests, true, false tests. You're going to have to engage some kind of performance to show that you learned the material. When you put these three elements together, you're looking at an environment that's very, very stressful. It's very stressful and very challenging. If you're familiar with philosophy and how fun it is, and you learn about all these theories of reality and things like that, you may not like the college environment at all. You may not like it. Because if I'm a living philosopher, I'm doing philosophy, I like to study a topic as long as I want. Don't put a time limit on me. The topic, I choose the topic. Don't be giving me a topic. And performance, if I choose to share my philosophy, I will. If I don't share. So it's much more relaxed modality when you're doing philosophy in this way. So in that environment, it's still very good for the mind, because a lot of time we want to stay only on our ideas. We do not want to engage in looking at things differently. And if you go in that environment, you're forced to look at different ideas and you're forced to think outside the box. Now, how does one thrive in that environment? I'm going to share the secret with you. Don't keep it to yourself, all right? I'm going to share it with you. The way to be successful in a philosophy course is that you must act like a philosopher. That's right, I said it. You must act like a philosopher. Yeah, it sounds kind of weird, right? Well, unlike other areas, you don't have to be like those individuals perhaps to succeed in that area. In philosophy, it's a way of thinking. And the easiest way to thrive in a philosophical environment is to act like a philosopher. Does that mean you're a philosophy major? Does that mean you're not just taking the class for one time? Remember, many people are taking philosophy courses for their major. So they're gonna take 1 course or 2 courses in philosophy and that's it. You do not, and if you dislike philosophy in general because of things you've heard about it, then and you must take a philosophy course, you don't have to repeat that class, do you? You want to be successful the first time. The more you dislike it, the more you want to listen to me and do what you need so you don't have to repeat it. Imagine you don't like something, you have to go through it once or twice. Oh my gosh. So please, stay with me. You have to act like a philosopher. And essentially, what does that mean in this particular situation? You must learn to think in time. The essence of philosophy is seeing truth in time. Let's look at your course. Your course is part of an institutional program. You have a semester, 4 months to complete a course, or maybe 6 weeks to complete that course. It is already rigidly defined within a time frame. Whether you love philosophy or you hate philosophy, you have a frame, a reference there. You got a frame, a time frame to work within which to work. You must put that forefront in your thinking. You love it, the party's gonna end. You hate it, doesn't matter, it's gonna end. When you structure that time, it's gonna be easy for you to go through philosophy. The second thing, once you recognize the time reference there, you need to look at the syllabus in full. Look at how the professor have managed the syllabus for the entire 16 weeks or 6 weeks. See how they divide the material. Is it midterm and final? Are there unit tests? Are there some quizzes along the line? Is there a term paper, 1 or 2 term paper? You want to look at the division, all right? So you've locked in the reference of the semester, the whole time period. Now you look at the performance factors of the course. Once you find a performance factor, you're going to have a test after 4 weeks. Then you look for the material that comes before that test. There's going to be reading, the second most important thing in this philosophy, in this idea I'm sharing with you, is that you must read. You must read a lot. So if test 1 is going to be based on chapters 2 and 3, do not wait for the lectures to come to you. You read all the material ahead, like the first weekend or the first week if it's a lot, but you read all of it ahead of time. Don't try to study, don't try to memorize, you just read to become familiar with it. You need to upload that information into the brain. And then you attend the lectures before that first unit exam. As you attend the lectures, you're going to learn how the professor is interpreting the material, what he or she is focusing on. And by the time you take the test, you're going to be ready because you read ahead. Then when you get close to the exam, that's when you do formal study for that particular exam. If you do not read ahead before the lectures, and you only read just before the test, now you're engaging in cramming. And that's a very dangerous thing in philosophy courses. You're looking for failure, right? Do not do that. You can study, which means going deeper because you already know the general, you know the particular in-class experiences, and now you're ready to focus studying and you can do well on the test. Those are the big elements there. Now, in particular, now let's look a little further about that type of test you're gonna take. In many philosophy classes, a lot of time you take essay exam or short essay exam. If you're gonna take short essay exam and you're following my methodology, reading first, all the material way ahead of time, ahead of the teacher, before he or she discusses it in class, for all essay type tests, you will be prepared. You can walk in the classroom without notice and start writing on that material because you've already read ahead and you're participating in the class. It's very important. I said participate in the class. That should be seen as a third element. Do not miss your philosophy classes. Attend all of them. Philosophy is about interpretation of material and understanding the material. Missing classes means you're gonna try to fill in the gap with some kind of rush study, cramming. That is suicidal in this business. All right, so you don't want to do that. Attend all your classes. All right, attend them. That is like a necessary component. So if you've been studying, you've been attending class, you read ahead. Always read ahead. You attend classes. You are prepared for essay test on the fly. Just boom, pop quiz, boom, right? If your unit test is going to be multiple choice or any objective test like that, multiple choice, fill in the blank, true, false, you need to do a real good study. For those tests, what you do is dig into the concepts you have different ideas from the philosophers. If you're studying ethics and looking at different definitions of happiness, for example, you have to clearly differentiate between Aristotle's definition of happiness and John Stuart Mill's definition of happiness. because in those objective tests, it presupposes you have a clear sense of the difference between those different ideas. When you're writing an essay, you don't have to have that perfect understanding, because you can explain your understanding by giving examples and illustration, which the professor can have. But when you're taking an objective test, the professor has a clear sense of those differentiation, and they're presenting it to you to see if you can recognize them. So you need to study deeper to do well on those particular tests. You did that for one time period. Now you're going to do that for all the performance elements in the particular course. Read ahead, no matter what. Entire book, read ahead. And then allow the class experiences to embellish the ideas for you and get the interpretation of the professor. And then boom, you have the performance. This process works. It works for me, and I know it'll work for you. So I'm sharing it with you. I believe you're a college student. So try it out. Now, down below, if you try my methodology and it's not working, please share why it's not working. If you like it, please comment. If you like what I'm saying here, please hit the like button and join my site. I am going to try to share more information on how to be successful in the college environment and doing philosophy, but also in life. So I'm going to also have videos on how to do philosophy for those who do philosophy for their own self-development and growth.